They expected diplomats. Soft-skinned, soft-voiced creatures with trembling hands and carefully rehearsed words. That was the official assessment submitted to the Galactic Council before humanity ever set foot in the chamber. A young species, barely spacefaring, fractious, emotionally unstable, manageable, predictable, weak. The Council had seen thousands like them. So when the doors opened and the human delegation walked in, no one noticed the old soldier among them. Not at first. He didn't belong with the polished diplomats in their dark suits and measured smiles. He stood slightly behind them, posture relaxed but coiled, like something pretending not to be dangerous. His hair was gray at the temples. His eyes didn't move like the others. They scanned, measured, calculated. Counselor Vrex of the Thalcran leaned toward his aide, mandibles clicking faintly. Security? The aide pulsed bioluminescent confirmation. Standard clearance. No weapons detected. Vrex leaned back, satisfied. A mistake he would relive for the rest of his shortened life. The human ambassador began speaking, her voice calm, diplomatic. We thank the Council for granting us audience. Humanity seeks peaceful integration. Peaceful? Interrupted Counselor Hesh, a towering quadruped from a warlike species that had long since traded conquest for bureaucracy. His voice rumbled like distant artillery. Your species has engaged in over 6,000 internal conflicts in the last century. A murmur rippled through the chamber. The ambassador smiled thinly. We've had growing pains. Your history reads like a disease, Hesh replied. You fight yourselves over territory, belief, resources, anything. Why should we believe you will behave differently on a galactic scale? A pause. Then the old soldier spoke. Because now we have something bigger to aim at. The room froze. The ambassador stiffened slightly but did not turn. The council, however, did. Vrex narrowed his eyes. You are not listed as a speaker. No, the man said evenly. I'm listed as a precaution. That should have been the moment security intervened. But curiosity is a fatal flaw shared across species. And what? Hesh rumbled. Are you a precaution against? The old soldier smiled. Misunderstandings. Before anyone could respond, the chamber lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then died. Darkness swallowed the council. A split second later, the emergency systems activated, but not fully. The room filled with dim, stuttering red light. Alarms began to wail, fragmented and distorted. What is this? Vrex snapped. Restore full systems. Attempting. The aide froze. We have lost control. External override. Impossible. The human ambassador's voice cut through the chaos. We didn't come here just to talk. Every head turned. Her calm was gone. In its place was something colder. Your council, she continued, has been systematically manipulating developing species for centuries. You uplift them just enough to exploit them. Strip their resources. Install compliant leadership. If they resist, she gestured faintly. A holographic projection flickered to life in the center of the chamber. Planetary bombardments. Mass graves. Extinct civilizations. The room erupted into overlapping outrage and denial. These are falsified, Vrex began. They're your records, the ambassador said quietly. We hacked your archives before we even requested this meeting. Silence slammed down like a hammer. Hesh's massive form shifted. If you know this, why come here at all? The old soldier answered. To give you one last chance to stop. There it was. The mistake. The council didn't hear a warning. They heard a bluff. Hesh let out a low, rumbling laugh. You think you can threaten us? This chamber alone houses enough defensive systems to annihilate your entire fleet. The soldier tilted his head slightly. Your fleet's already gone. That landed. Hard. What? Vrex hissed. Disabled, the soldier clarified. Not destroyed. We're not monsters. A beat. Yet. Panic began to creep into the edges of the room. Counselor Hesh rose to his full height. Security, terminate the human delegation. That was the moment everything broke. Hidden compartments in the walls snapped open. Automated defense drones surged into the chamber, sleek, lethal, precise. And then the old soldier moved. Later, the surviving council members would try to describe it. None of them would agree on the details. Some said he blurred, like reality couldn't keep up. Others swore he was simply already there, wherever he needed to be. The first drone never finished powering up. The soldier was inside its guard range before its sensors fully activated. He tore it apart with his bare hands, ripping through alloy plating like it was paper. The second drone fired. He didn't dodge. He stepped into the shot. At the last possible instant, he twisted, letting the energy blast graze past him while he grabbed the drone midair and slammed it into the chamber floor with enough force to crater it. 3 more drones opened fire. The room filled with light and heat. When it cleared, the soldier was still standing, bleeding, smiling. "Oh," he said softly, almost amused. "There it is." Something changed. It wasn't visible at first. Not in any obvious, physical way. But every instinct in the room screamed the same thing. Run. Counselor Vrex felt his limbs lock. What is happening to him? The human ambassador didn't look away from the unfolding carnage. "We call it predator mode," she said quietly. Another drone lunged. The soldier caught it mid-strike and drove it through a pillar, pinning it like an insect. Sparks and fluids sprayed across the chamber. "He's not enhanced," she continued. "Not augmented. This is baseline human capability, under the right conditions." The soldier turned slowly, his gaze sweeping across the remaining drones. "And your mistake," she added, "was giving him those conditions." The drones hesitated. Machines. Perfectly logical. And yet, they hesitated. Because the thing in front of them no longer fit any model. The soldier exhaled once. Then he charged. What followed wasn't a fight. It was a demonstration. He dismantled the remaining drones with brutal efficiency. No wasted movement, no hesitation. Every strike was deliberate. Every motion calculated. He used their own momentum against them, turned their weapons into liabilities, exploited every microscopic delay in their response systems. In less than 30 seconds, it was over. The chamber fell silent except for the crackle of damaged systems and the slow, steady breathing of the human. Blood dripped from his knuckles. Not all of it was his. He looked up at the council. And smiled. "You built your entire civilization on control," he said. "Predictability. Order." He took a step forward. "And you never once asked what happens when something unpredictable shows up." No one moved. No one spoke. Because now they understood. This wasn't a bluff. This wasn't diplomacy. This was a warning wrapped in restraint. The ambassador stepped forward again, reclaiming the moment. "This is the part where you decide," she said. "You can continue as you are, and eventually face all of humanity like this." She gestured toward the soldier. "Or you can choose something different." A long silence stretched across the chamber. Heavy. Suffocating. Counselor Hesh, for the first time in centuries, hesitated. "You're asking us to dismantle our entire system." "No," the ambassador replied. "I'm telling you what happens if you don't." The soldier cracked his neck slowly, the sound echoing in the ruined chamber. And then he added, almost conversationally, "Today you met one of us on a bad day." A pause. His smile widened, just a little. "You don't want to see what we're like when we're angry." The council finally understood. Not fully. Not yet. But enough. Enough to feel it. That cold, creeping realization settling into their bones. Humanity hadn't come to join the galaxy. They had come to judge it. And if necessary, to hunt. The silence didn't last long. It shattered the instant Counselor Vrex stumbled backward, trembling claws scraping against the chamber floor. You cannot! Oh, we can, the old soldier said softly, wiping the blood from his knuckles with deliberate care. He looked like a man tidying his suit after a messy meal, and yet, every council member could feel the threat radiating from him like a gravitational field. And we will, if you force our hand. The ambassador stepped closer, her voice sharp, cold as a whip cracking in a storm. You've underestimated humanity for centuries. You thought our infighting made us weak. You thought petty politics made us manageable. You were wrong. Dead wrong. A hiss ran through the chamber as Hesh bared his fangs, his 4 legs bracing against the polished floor. And yet here you are. Only one human. One soldier. You cannot possibly represent your entire species. The old soldier tilted his head, almost amused. I don't have to. A flicker in the holographic systems caught their eyes, images of orbital strikes on alien worlds, intercepted transmissions of fleets destroyed before they even reached human-controlled sectors, planets liberated or obliterated depending on choice. We don't negotiate with excuses, the ambassador said. We negotiate with facts. With capability. With consequences. Vrex's bioluminescent sensors pulsed rapidly. These cannot be real. Your fleet is not in position. You claim planetary control where none exists. You have no fleet? The soldier finished for him. Correct. No fleet. Not yet. Vrex's compound eyes widened, mandibles clicking in disbelief. You mean, all of this is… The ambassador's eyes glinted, merciless. Preparation. Planning. Strategy. And humans? We fight smarter. Faster. We endure. We adapt. Every war you've ever fought, we've studied it. Every weakness you've shown, catalogued. Hesh growled, low and furious. You threaten us with an entire species, without deployment? Without even demonstrating full intent? The soldier stepped closer, each footfall shaking the chamber subtly, almost imperceptibly, but enough to unsettle centuries-old architecture. Intent is irrelevant. What matters is the proof. One man. One day. One decision. The council had heard of intimidation tactics before. They had never seen them executed like this. Machines that were meant to be unstoppable had crumpled. Their security forces had been neutralized without a single human death. A low, metallic click echoed, and the doors behind the delegation burst inward. Not more humans. Not reinforcements. Just shadows. The soldier moved again. Faster than thought, faster than instinct. Counselor Vrex tried to retreat. He didn't make it. The soldier grabbed him by the shoulders, slammed him backward into the wall, and leaned close. You see now? He whispered. This is what happens when you misjudge us. Counselor Hesh roared, launching himself like a missile, claws extended. The soldier sidestepped as though anticipating gravity itself, slamming Hesh into a support beam with the force of a meteor strike. The beam cracked, shuddering the chamber. The ambassador's voice cut over the chaos, calm as ever. Predator mode isn't just about fighting. It's about thinking. Strategy. Chaos control. Adaptation. Humanity doesn't play by your rules, we write them. A hum filled the air. The remaining drones began reactivating, swarming toward the delegation. In a normal scenario, these mechanical predators would have been overwhelming. Not today. The old soldier didn't run. He danced. He moved as if the drones were extensions of his own body. Every strike calculated, every movement anticipating and exploiting weaknesses. Each drone fell faster than the council could comprehend, its fragments littering the chamber in a shower of sparks and shattered alloy. Counselor Vrex, pinned behind a console, finally shouted, "You cannot stop the galaxy! Humanity is one species! One day! One battle!" The soldier laughed, a short, chilling sound. One day is all it takes when we decide. One battle is enough when we predict. One species, capable of everything you refuse to believe. Hesh struggled to rise, his massive body trembling. You are monstrous! Not human. Exactly. The soldier's grin widened. And yet the thing is. He stepped closer to Hesh, tilting his head like a predator examining its prey. All humans can be this. Not just me. Not just today. You've never truly faced us, all of us together. You thought you had the advantage. You were arrogant. The holographic display shifted again. Now, entire battle plans, fleet positions, communication nodes, key planetary governors, were exposed. We've learned from every mistake, every war, every betrayal. Humanity doesn't forget. Humanity doesn't forgive, but we do prepare. Rex's eyes narrowed, calculating feverishly. You threaten annihilation to achieve compliance? The ambassador shrugged. No. Compliance is optional. Understanding is mandatory. You've had centuries of misjudging species under your thumb. Today, we correct that. Humanity is not soft, not naive, not foolish. We are inevitable. Hesh's claws raked at the floor, sparks flying. He looked to his fellow counselors. We have faced conquerors, tyrants, galactic plagues. This is something else. Something unprecedented. Do you understand what you've unleashed? The soldier cocked his head. You will understand by the time this is over. Then, the chamber trembled. Not from humans. Not from machines. But from the presence of an idea, the realization that nothing in the galaxy was safe from scrutiny, that no empire was untouchable. The Council had always believed in containment. In control. In predictability. Now they faced unpredictability incarnate. The old soldier advanced. The humans flanked him, no weapons in hand, only the weight of centuries of ingenuity, planning, and survival instincts radiating outward. We are patience, the ambassador said. We are strategy. We are vengeance when we need it. And yes, we are predator. A moment of hesitation passed among the council members. 1, 2, then all of them realized the truth. They had assumed humanity could be contained. That diplomacy, fear, or brute force would work. They were wrong. And the chamber smelled the fear now, not just the faint twinge of danger, but the cold, sharp scent of inevitability. The soldier stopped at the center of the chamber. The lights flickered again, bathing the room in stark red. Every counselor's gaze locked on him. Today, he said low and resonant, you've seen only the beginning. Humanity has many days, many battles, many faces. And this, he gestured to the destruction, the chaos, the holographic evidence, is what happens when one of us decides it's time to fight without mercy. Hesh hissed. You will not survive this galaxy long enough to enact such threats. The soldier smiled. We survive because we adapt. We endure because we refuse to yield. And when the Council underestimates us, that is our advantage. The humans in the chamber moved as one, a fluid unit, coiled tension ready to strike. It wasn't aggression, it was inevitability. The Council realized, collectively and terrifyingly, that the rules had changed. Humanity had entered predator mode. And the galaxy would never see them the same way again. The silence that followed wasn't quiet. It was heavy, oppressive, like the weight of centuries of arrogance pressing down on the council chamber. For the first time, no one spoke, not because they were polite, but because they couldn't. Rex's mandibles clicked nervously. His bioluminescent eyes pulsed faster than protocol allowed. This is unprecedented, he stammered. A single human has disabled our defenses, exposed our archives, and... The old soldier's gaze met his, unblinking. And I'm not even the best of us. The council recoiled instinctively. Words failed them. Logic, the foundation of their governance, faltered. They had rules for war. Rules for diplomacy. Rules for genocide. But there were no rules for this. Hesh lunged again, furious, massive, relentless. But this time, the soldier didn't just dodge, he manipulated the environment. A holographic console became a battering ram, sending Hesh crashing into a reinforced wall. Sparks rained down, metal twisted. The quadruped roared, staggering to his feet. The ambassador leaned forward, voice cutting through the chaos. You see the pattern now. Humanity doesn't just fight. We engineer the battlefield. Every movement is a lesson. Every attack is a question you can't answer. Every response is predictable, until it isn't. Counselor Vrex's aides tried to intercede, activating remaining drones and defense turrets. It was too late. Each automated system was neutralized before it even fully powered up. Some drones were torn apart mid-flight. Others were turned back on their creators with surgical precision. A faint smile crossed the soldier's face. I hope you're taking notes, he said, almost conversationally. Because this is the part your archives won't explain. This is human ingenuity in action. Hesh, massive and enraged, spat a jet of corrosive saliva, aiming for the human's face. The soldier caught it midair, flicked it aside with the same hand that had just crushed another drone's core moments before. Try harder, he said. Then came the twist. From beneath the chamber floor, a hidden network of human-engineered devices activated. They weren't weapons in the traditional sense, at least not yet. They were traps. Pressure-sensitive plates, electromagnetic disruptors, and containment grids that had been installed under the guise of maintenance tunnels decades ago. The Council had no idea. No one had ever walked these corridors before. Suddenly, the floor shifted. Vrex and his aides fell into holding cells that sealed instantly. Hesh roared, trying to leap free, but a web of energy barriers snapped into place around him. The humans had anticipated every escape route, every defensive protocol, every contingency. The ambassador's voice rang out, calm, almost gentle in contrast to the carnage. You assumed we would come to negotiate. You assumed that being clever, being powerful, being ancient would be enough to intimidate us. You assumed wrong. The old soldier approached Hesh, every step deliberate, like a predator stalking its apex moment. Do you see now? This isn't about one fight, one victory, or even one species. This is about principle. We fight for survival. We fight for respect. And we fight because no one should ever doubt what humanity is capable of. Hesh's massive form shuddered against the energy barriers, but his voice, guttural and raw, came out in a whisper. You're monsters. The soldier smiled. You've called us many things over the centuries. Naive. Weak. Barbaric. Unpredictable. But the thing you never called us. He paused, savoring the moment. Inevitable. The ambassador stepped closer, her eyes sweeping the chamber. You can try to rebuild your alliances, consolidate your fleets, bury your mistakes in bureaucracy. But understand this, we don't forgive. We don't forget. And we never underestimate ourselves. Vrex, still trapped, stammered. You can't possibly manage all of us at once. A faint chuckle echoed through the chamber. No, the soldier said softly. We don't have to manage all of you at once. That would be unnecessary. We simply need leverage. One decision, one demonstration, one human at a time. And today, you were first. For the first time, a collective panic spread through the remaining council members. This wasn't just threat or bluster. This was demonstration. Every empire, every fleet, every political maneuver they had relied upon was exposed as irrelevant. Vrex's compound eyes flickered rapidly. This is warfare unlike anything recorded. You are. The soldier cut him off. Not recorded. Not yet. You won't write about this in your archives. You won't survive long enough to misinterpret it. You will remember it in the way all civilizations remember predators. Then, almost casually, the soldier reached into the shattered remains of a drone, extracted a small, sleek device, and tossed it onto the central console. The device activated, projecting a galaxy-wide broadcast. Every major trade hub, every military outpost, every council satellite received the message simultaneously. This is humanity. We are no longer your subjects. We are your reckoning. The council froze. Panic erupted across their communications network as worlds blinked offline, fleets rerouted, and messages of warning cascaded through the void. Humanity had already reached beyond the chamber, they had always been reaching. And now the first full taste of their power was undeniable. The ambassador's voice, measured, cut through the digital chaos. We didn't come here to negotiate. We came to demonstrate. You built your galaxy on predictability. You assumed we were one of many. You assumed weakness. You assumed control. And you were wrong. Always wrong. Hesh's roar shook the chamber, his massive frame pressing against the energy barriers. The soldier stepped closer, unflinching. Your galaxy just changed. You will adapt, or you will fall. Humanity doesn't ask. We decide. And today, you witnessed what happens when we decide. A final, bone-deep silence fell over the council chamber. No one spoke. No one moved. The holographic projections continued to cascade through the council's systems, showing the scope, precision, and reach of human ingenuity. Then, almost imperceptibly, the soldier nodded once. It was a nod of warning. Of promise. Of inevitability. The council would survive this day, technically. Some would live to see the next sunrise. But nothing about their galaxy would ever be the same. Humanity had triggered predator mode. And the galaxy had just learned the meaning of fear. The chamber lay in ruin, but the council still breathed. That, however, was all they had in their favor. The old soldier's presence alone radiated inevitability, a silent storm that promised the end of complacency. Hesh, massive and furious, leaned against the energy barriers, claws gouging the floor in frustration. This is impossible. One human, no, one delegation, cannot dismantle our authority, our fleets, our systems. The soldier approached, deliberate, patient, like a lion circling a cornered pack. I told you, he said quietly, almost kindly. It's not about one human. It's about every human everywhere. And today, you glimpsed what we are capable of when the right trigger is pulled. Predator mode is not unique. It's universal. Rex's compound eyes flickered, processing the scale of the revelation. You threaten extinction. Not extinction. The ambassador corrected, her voice measured and cutting. Correction. Accountability. A chance for your species to rethink everything you've built on arrogance, deception, and control. The chamber trembled again as hidden devices activated beneath the floor, not lethal, but demonstrating control, shields, electromagnetic pulses, network overrides. The council could feel the reach of humanity beyond the chamber. Communications jammed, fleets rerouted, systems compromised. Humanity had already struck before a single human vessel had launched. The soldier stepped closer to Hesh, each footfall echoing with certainty. You thought control was absolute. You thought power was measured in fleets, weapons, archives. But we are not measured. We are unpredictable. We are necessary chaos. Hesh roared, smashing against the barriers, sending sparks flying. You are monsters! Not human! The soldier's grin was almost gentle. Exactly. And yet, all of us are human. The ambassador walked toward the shattered central console, activating a galaxy-wide broadcast. Every council member watched as it illuminated the chamber with images of human resilience, colonized worlds, fledgling colonies rising from ashes, fleets built from ingenuity, diplomacy intertwined with cunning strategy. This, she said, voice calm, measured, final, is not the first time humanity has survived the impossible. And it will not be the last. You may call us monsters. You may fear us. But one thing is clear, you cannot ignore us. You cannot underestimate us. And you will never, ever contain us. Rex tried to speak, but the words faltered in his throat. No argument remained. No rationale could undo the undeniable proof before them. The soldier stepped back, letting the weight of the chamber settle. The human delegation had not fired a single weapon. They had not destroyed a single world. And yet, in less than an hour, they had rewritten the balance of power. Hesh, humiliated but alive, spoke one last time, voice low and raw. You have shown your strength. But the galaxy will not forgive this. The soldier's eyes glinted, sharp and cold. The galaxy will remember this. And it will respect us, or pay the consequences. One day, every empire will meet humans on our terms. Today you were first. The ambassador smiled, a thin, merciless line. We leave you with a choice: adapt, or become history. Humanity doesn't seek unnecessary conflict. We seek acknowledgement, understanding, and survival. But make no mistake, when provoked, we are predators. And predators do not forgive. The council watched helplessly as the human delegation turned and walked toward the exit, leaving the chamber in ruins, the drones dismantled, and every system compromised. The broadcast continued to pulse through the galaxy, a declaration, a warning, a promise. The old soldier paused at the doorway, looking back once. Remember this moment. Not the destruction, not the fear, but the truth. Humanity is not weak. Humanity is not predictable. Humanity is inevitable. Then he was gone. And the council finally understood what the galaxy would never forget: a species they had underestimated, dismissed, and pitted had just rewritten the rules of engagement. The humans hadn't arrived to negotiate, they had arrived to demonstrate, and in doing so, had carved their name across the stars. For the first time, the council felt something they had never experienced in millennia: dread. Not the dread of defeat, but the dread of inevitability. Humanity had awakened. And the galaxy would never be the same. The doors sealed behind the delegation, and silence fell again. But this time, it was not relief, it was a vacuum of comprehension, a cavity where arrogance had once resided. Every counselor understood the same terrifying truth: today, they had witnessed humanity in predator mode. And it was only the beginning.